Wednesday, and we are going to do some more hell diving. It looks like we got some new missions here, actually, from Super Earth involving the bugs. We got to push the bugs back, and we got some spore spewers over here that we need to get rid of. So we're going to have some fun today. We're going to change it up. We're going to shake it up a little bit. We are going to become inflammable and do some flame diving, because it's been a while since we did some flame diving. So we're going to grab that. We're going to keep the eruptor. We're going to keep that. And we're going to instead grab some napalm, grab some flamethrowers. We're going to grab a hover pack, and so we can help destroy some spore spewers, let's grab some eats to literally eat some fire. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Next week we get the new war bond, which I'm very, very excited for. We are gonna get the electric guns, the dog with the electric pack strapped to it, and all those things. I'm very, very hyped for that. Ooh, the planet is nice and dark. We like that as well. Looks like we landed in a fairly safe place, which is also very excellent. Grab that, and lastly, let's grab a supply beacon. There we go. Okay, we are ready to start flame hell diving here. Let's go start some problems. Let's go cause some problems. I got a new controller I'm trying out. I found that there's a program I didn't know existed through Corsair called the Revival program that allows you to purchase refurbished items for cheap. And my other controller was breaking, so I decided to try out their refurbished program. The Scruff controllers are usually like $200 a piece for their super high Premier Pro controllers. And on the Revival program, it was under $100. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try this out if I can save that much money and try one of these controllers out. And so far, you know, I'm digging the controller. It's not bad. I don't know yet that I would say that it's worth as much money as they are asking for it, but I've only used it for a day, so maybe I'm wrong, but I definitely so far don't see what makes this controller a $200 controller. But we'll wait and see. I could be wrong still. Oh, I see some dudes trying to sneak up on us. Let's barbecue them. Alright, let's back up a little bit. It might be time to try out the hover pack. I haven't tried the hover pack very much because the jetpack is just better. However, I saw someone using the jet hover pack and the flamethrower together, and that looked like a lot of fun. And so far, let me tell you, that was pretty fun, no lie. So I think they were right about that. Hover pack and flamethrower go together super well. I watched them jump right into the face of a Bile Titan and light him on fire. So I kind of like this combination, actually. I'm an air exterminator. Alright, this guy's getting annoying, though. So we need to deal with him. Alright, roasted. We're getting surrounded here, though, so that is also not good. Good morning, EK. How's it going? Congratulations, you're the first one in my chat this morning. So, awesome on that. How are you? Let's grab some supplies. Let's, there we go. Take care of the bugs. The flamethrower is not the most effective tactic, but it is one of the most fun, without a doubt. And sometimes that's all that matters, right? Like, you have the most effective weapons in the world, but sometimes... Oh, I didn't realize that fall would take me down. Sometimes you just gotta have fun. And that flamethrower with the hover pack is an incredible amount of fun. So... What are you doing this morning, EK? Do you play Helldivers? Also, don't forget, a reminder for everyone that tonight we are helldiving with a Catholic priest and Tony. So look forward to that. We have a special late night stream tonight where we are going to be helldiving with a Catholic priest, which sounds absolutely awesome, right? I think they forgot about me. I think they have forgotten to reinforce me. As they're slowly destroying all the citizens. Or do we lag out? I can't tell if we're lagging or not because that bug is just sitting there. Thank you. Okay, so I thought these spore spewers might be a little bit harder to destroy because it's the whole mission, but they just recoilless rifled that one, so maybe not. Okay, this guy rezzed me way away from my gear, so that's kind of a bummer. We're kind of far away from where we want to be, but that is also the Helldiver way, right? We gotta adapt and overcome. We'll light all those guys on fire, and we will find a different way to get to our gear. And of course, there's a Bile Titan. Does he see me? Where'd he go? Okay, we're in trouble. We're in real trouble here. Oh, that's not good. That was also not good. Dex is here. Good morning, Dex. That guy blocked my shot. What an incredible move by these, quote, unintelligent creatures. What's new today, Dex? How are you doing?
Helldivers never die.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop some of these guys following me at least. Give ourselves a little flame break, and then we will take them down once our eats are back up. There we go. Yeah, so what's up this morning, Dex? How you doing? What's new? What's good?
Enemy tactical asset within threat range.
It looks like that fire actually stopped those guys from following me. It actually worked. I sound surprised because half the times they just walk through fire like it's nothing, but it seems like it actually deterred them this time. Every morning I think about quitting my job. My antidepressants aren't working. I understand the antidepressants not working now. I know we just talked about mine are actually working, which is great, but I have a greater empathy now than ever for the whole waiting six weeks for your antidepressants to kick in just to learn that they're not going to work. I actually understand that to a degree now, so hopefully your doctor can fix that. But the sucky part is I understand now like how long it takes for the antidepressants to actually kick in means that sometimes you go to the doctor and say, hey, this isn't working. Like, oh, well, you know, let's give it a few more weeks and see what happens. And then you got to wait a few more weeks and you got to schedule a doctor appointment. And then it takes 2 months to get into the doctor. And the doctor like, okay, well, we're going to try this dosage. And then you got to wait 6 weeks and they say, okay, this isn't working. And then you got to wait 2 to 6 more weeks to get into the doctor. And the doctor says, well, let's try upping the dosage a little bit. And then you got to wait 2 weeks. Like, it takes years and years and years for you to actually get the help that you need, when it should not be that way, right? It should be a very simple process, and yet it becomes this whole thing, unfortunately, when you just want help and relief from the suffering. So I do understand that to agree, and I'm sorry you're going through that, because I do understand how much that sucks. Polyblank, good morning. I am doing okay this morning. I'm very excited for tonight. We were just talking about we have our late night stream tonight with Tony and the Catholic priest, so that is going to be fun. All right, let's try this out. Let's try barbecuing this guy right in the mouth and see what happens. Nothing happened. I saw someone do that once. I thought it looked really cool, but apparently flying right up into his mouth and toasting him did nothing. So that was a stupid move, but it was fun. All right, lots of fire, lots of fire. I have also... It's only the 11th, and I have spent way too much money this month, unfortunately, so I have to go the rest of the month without spending money, which is bittersweet. You know, it's good to save money, but it sucks that I've already overspent. Alright, let's fix that. So, I have to be good the rest of the month and purchase nothing. Oh, we're on fire. Oh, this is bad. Oh, we are dead. Yep, we are dead. What's new with you, Polyblank? What's new this morning? Good morning, good morning. So this hover pack build, it is a lot of fun to hover above the bugs and to just blast them, but it is not the most effective thing in the world. I will admit that. Alright, we are stuck. Door is stuck. I wonder if we can shoot something close enough to us not to kill us, but also will blast us out of this thing. Because... Oh, it worked! Holy cow, I can't believe that worked! I am genuinely shocked that did not just kill us right there. Also, it has been an absolutely bonkers month for content creation. And I know I'm going to jinx myself by saying this, since like the last time we streamed, we had 150 people watching the stream, and now we have 0. So I don't know what's up with that, YouTube. I don't know why YouTube is like being so finicky. Where some days it's like, here, have 1,000 people, and then now today it's like, you know what? No one wants to watch you. No one cares what you have to say. It's very strange how sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But the last like week, I've had more viewers than ever before, and like my goal was actually to hit where I'm having 1 million viewers a month, and I was so close. And I think I'm not going to hit it now because I had a couple big videos that fell off. But for the last week, especially while I was on vacation of all times, it was going to get close. I really thought I was going to hit 1 million views for the month, and you know, the month just started, right? So that was really nuts how like it was just popping off and people were watching, and we got something like 100 or 200 subscribers in a day. Like it was going. Let's humble you a bit. You know, it never hurts to be humbled, and I have definitely been humbled by, like I said, some days it gives me 100 viewers, some days it gives me 0 viewers, so you just never know what you're going to get. So we are one step closer to the dream of quitting our job and just being able to do this all day. We also tried the Cholula Do yesterday, the Cholula. We took Chipotle hot sauce, Cholula style. Some of this. Oh, it's green screened out. It doesn't work. and put it in some Mountain Dew. And I'll be honest, I will not drink that again. It kind of tasted like drinking barbecue sauce, which kind of makes sense because barbecue sauce is just sweet and spicy. So this was basically sweet and spicy Mountain Dew. It wasn't bad. Like I couldn't not finish drinking it. Like it wasn't so disgusting I threw up or anything like that. But it definitely doesn't feel right to just be chugging barbecue sauce also, you know? So the Cholula Dew was a failed experiment. Cholula was not good to drink. So I am never afraid to admit when I am wrong. So we will give Dex this one. Dex, you were right. Hot sauce and Mountain Dew do not belong together. It is not a good combination. So you can bask in your rightness this morning in that Cholula Dew was a failed experiment. Serial killer behavior. It's in the interest of humbling ourselves, Dex. We're telling you that you are right. The Cholula Mountain Dew was not a great combination. So now we need to find something else to put in Mountain Dew to see if we can make something delicious. So who wants to volunteer? What goes next? What should we put in Mountain Dew next to try it out? Like I still have some lemonade, but Mountain Dew and lemonade sounds pretty good actually. That just sounds like more Mountain Dew. That's like putting milk in dehydrated milk, right? It's just extra milk. Putting citrus into Mountain Dew is just extra Mountain Dew. So that one won't work. I do still have some marshmallow fluff. We could try and make some fluffy Mountain Dew like we did the fluffy lemonade. But again, lemonade and Mountain Dew are so similar that I don't see that actually being like an interesting combo. Try using ice or a straw. Okay. Unpopular opinion for the day. I can't stand iced drinks. I do not like ice in my drinks. I hate ice cold drinks. I know you're gonna say serial killer behavior again, but like a cup of lukewarm water is much better. Room temperature water is much better than an ice cold glass of water. I cannot stand ice cold drinks. So, Zach, good morning. How's it going? We're just talking about putting stuff in Mountain Dew. So if you've got a suggestion, the Cholula hot sauce in Mountain Dew was not good. So we're trying to put different things in Mountain Dew to make it better, to improve the dew, and how much we dislike ice drinks because ice cold water is the worst. Give me room temperature water any day of the week. You are so wrong. Now, there's a whole cultures built around that you don't drink ice cold drinks. Like there's a whole thing about like ice cold drinks and upsetting your stomach and destroying the whatever flow that they came up with. So there's whole cultures that say that you're wrong, Dex. Water's taste is solely dependent on its temperature. Okay. Here's something kind of crazy to think about. Have you ever thought about if you turn your tap water on cold water and you turn your tap water on hot water, you can hear the difference between cold water and hot water when it's running. Try it. You'll see you actually can. It's like a really just like mind-blowing thing. Yes, you can hear the difference between hot water and cold water. Give it a try. It's kind of a crazy phenomena. Just a clown. Good morning. But to be honest, I mean, if you don't like the taste of water, there's nothing wrong with putting a 0-calorie like Mio in the water. I know there's this like whole thing that's going on TikTok right now that frustrates me in no end, where people are talking about hydration. Like, I don't know why, but as a society, we have decided that everyone is super dehydrated and needs to drink gallons and gallons of water. When humans have a built-in thing, if you're thirsty, your body will tell you. for most people. Of course, there's always medical things and things like that, but like there's this whole thing about hydration where people are like, no, you can't drink soda because it dehydrates you. A Diet Coke is 99% water with a little bit of flavoring and sweetener in it. Like, drinking a Diet Coke is not going to dehydrate you. You're not going to shrivel up and pass away because you drink a Diet Coke. Like, and same thing with coffee. Oh, well, coffee will dehydrate you because it is a diuretic. Like, it's a minor diuretic. The coffee still is 99% water with a little bit of beans in it. Like, it's so frustrating how all these people have decided that everything is dehydrating to you. So same thing, if you drink water with a little bit of Mio in it or a little bit of like flavored, a little flavor like lemonade packet, like it is not going to dehydrate you. And everyone has decided that it will dehydrate you. Water talk, yes, we are the hydro homies. People be layering the water that's not possible with normal water. They are creating goo. I am a fan though. I am a fan of they say this is a trait of ADHD. I'm like 80% confident I don't have ADHD. Autism, maybe. I could see a little bit of like the autism spectrum. Like, I won't fight that one, but I'm pretty sure I don't have ADHD. But they say like one of the clear tell signs of ADHD is if you drink multiple drinks. And I'll find myself some days all like, well, here's my Diet Coke because I like Diet Coke. Here's my coffee because I need my morning coffee. And then here's my water. And I'll have like 3 or 4 different drinks and I'll just be drinking all those at once. They say that like that. If you do that, that's a clear sign of ADHD. I don't necessarily know that that's a clear sign of ADHD or not, but I do find myself very often drinking multiple drinks at once. So make of that what you will. Let's see. We need eats again. We always need to bring an eat just in case. Eat. There we go. We're going flames again. That's normal. I can't really talk NC. I've been hit with high functioning and ADHD. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. You know, don't take me wrong. I'm not saying ADHD is a bad thing. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure I don't have ADHD, but high functioning, I could live with that label. I'm pretty sure that label somewhat applies to me. I mean, the amount of people who've come through and called me autistic just by looking at me. I mean, it's one of those things like where I was watching this TikTok where someone said like the normies know, you know, the neurotypical people can just sense it on you and that's why they don't want to be your friend. And I was like, you know what, that kind of makes sense. Like I can see where someone would look at me and be like, no, I know there's something off about this person, so I don't want to be their friend. Like, that doesn't offend me because that just matches up with my reality, right? Like, I go, yeah, okay, I see it. I see what you're saying. Oh boy, we missed that. We missed all those shots. And now they've got a nice call in. That was embarrassingly bad for me. All right, we're running. They can have their call in back here. We'll just reposition up here. That's wild, right? The things you learn on TikTok, the things people say on TikTok are outrageous. What do you think about Uncanny Valley? Okay, so I once saw this theory on Reddit that made so much sense to me. So, you know, it's just a theory. It's not proven. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But someone said that humans have this Uncanny Valley response because back in the day, before we were fully human, we know that there was the split between Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens. You know, that there was like the two warring tribes, and we were wiping out the Neanderthals and all those sort of things, right? So we know that there was a period of time where we had things that looked like us, but were considered different from our tribe. And so someone said that the whole like Uncanny Valley thing comes from that Uncanny Valley was just because we were basically trained from early on to detect things that looked like us but weren't us. And that's like the whole why we wiped out the Neanderthals, was because this evolutionary thing of they look like us but they're not us, and we need to be able to detect that so that we can continue the tribe on. Again, this is just a theory that I read, but it made a lot of sense to me, so I was like, you know what, I dig that theory. I understand what it's saying, you know? So is it true? I can't say for certain, but it makes a lot of sense to me, this idea of that's a leftover trait from the old days of when we had other creatures that lived among us that looked like us but weren't considered a part of our tribe. So I thought that was a really cool theory that someone had put on there. Again, it just comes from Reddit, so how well researched is it? Who knows? But I don't think that's how evolution works. You know, who's to say how evolution works? Does anyone really know how evolution works? Like, you can come at me with your fancy science, but science can't even explain how bicycles work yet. So can we fully trust in the science? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not being anti-science here. I'm just saying science doesn't have an explanation for everything just yet. So, sometimes we discover new things and learn new things, right? I see different things saying, like, because of how it looking sickly, a human response for looking for a best mate. That's interesting. I could see that as well. There are a lot of human behaviors that are about finding a good and suitable mate. Look it up next. Look up, how do bicycles work? And there will be an article, multiple articles about how we're still not fully like 100% certain about like the physics and all the mechanics that go into how a bicycle works. Like, we understand the basic concept of how momentum keeps pushing you forward, but we don't fully understand the secrets of the bicycles as of yet. So that's all I'm saying. Do you believe in Darwin's evolution? Yes, I believe in evolution. This is a conversation that many Christians are having right now, because there are more and more every year. There are more and more Christians who tell you that you can't believe in science and God, and that they're opposed. But I do not believe that anything about the theory of evolution contradicts anything about God. So I'm not one of those people who will tell you you have to choose. I think God and science can go very well hand in hand. All right, we're gonna die now, but we took out that with us. So for Super Earth, we completed the mission, and that's all that matters sometimes, right? In the grand scheme of things, our Helldiver's life does not matter. Only Super Earth matters. Woo! I can't believe we made that jump work. All right, let's toast this guy up. I kind of wish, since, he's just a giant gas bag, I kind of wish he would, like, explode in a fiery explosion when we hit him with the fire, I think it makes more sense that they are losing traits that they don't need, like dodo birds lost the ability to fly, lack of predators. That makes sense. That could definitely be too. Uncanny Valley, there's a lot of things that could explain it. There's some things I don't think we're going to know for certain for, if ever, there are certain things that are just hard for science to fully grasp. But that doesn't mean we can't, try and understand it. And it doesn't mean that there won't be like prevailing theories or things like that also. Science is a process, right? It may not always be perfect, but it is a process. All right, let's grab one of these. I thought I heard a Bile Titan, but maybe not. Did you grab your stuff, dude? No? What do we got down here? Oh, he's far away. Okay, I guess we're not gonna open that door. Who needs that door? Human trait, fear of the unknown. Oh, okay, we're in trouble. It's kind of like it kind of goes hand in hand with so before I was Catholic, me me and my wife were really, really, really deep into the paranormal. We ran a paranormal podcast. We did a bunch of ghost hunting. And one of the topics we talked at length about was pareidoia, where people like see patterns and faces in things that don't have patterns and faces. And that's like, that explains 90% of like ghost sightings is just the human trait of pareidoia, the ability to recognize patterns and faces in things that don't have it. Like, that is clear. That clearly goes hand in hand, like with we were just talking about the potential for uncanny valley and beyond the sense Neanderthals. It's the same thing, right? Like, that is clearly a human trait that gives us the ability to survive, is to be able to look at scenery and see if there's a cougar or a jaguar or whatever predator is hiding in the bushes. The ability to see that that face amongst like the bushes and the camouflage and all that is such a powerful and important human trait. But also because we don't have to look for predators hiding in the bushes anymore, that has caused some disconnect with the pareidoia, and I think it's pushed people into overdrive on trying to see things there, because our body's like, no, this is where predators hide, and yet we're not seeing any predators, so there's a problem. So I think a lot of ghost stuff can be chalked up to that's just how the human body is conditioned to work. Do you believe in ghosts or demons? Okay, so like I said before I was Catholic, I was super deep into ghost hunting. In fact, the whole reason I became a photographer was because I was our team's photographer for ghost hunting. My goal was to get a picture of a ghost. In all of our time, we only ever got one picture that I could say maybe has a ghost in it. And the thing that makes me say maybe on that is the picture came from a really bad cell phone in low lighting and bad conditions. So how is it that my really expensive, super awesome DSLR never once gave us a ghost photo, but the worst camera ever is the one that produced maybe a ghost photo? That definitely is a strike against ghosts there. 100% strike against ghosts. That just tells me that maybe just all the ghost photos are because of bad cameras. And the better of a photographer I became, the less chance we had of having a bad photo, which means we had less chance of seeing ghosts. Like, that definitely was suspicious to me. However, yes, I believe in demons. And I can't write off ghosts fully, because as we were ghost hunting, there were some experiences that we had that I simply cannot explain. That I have zero actual explanation for how these things are scientifically possible. And because of those things that happened to me that I cannot explain in any rational, reasonable, or scientific way, there has to be some sort of ghost, demon, entity, something else out there, because I simply don't have an explanation for what happened to me. Demogorgon, I have schizophrenia. I am sorry to hear that. I'm not well educated in that illness, so I don't know a whole lot about it. I know, of course, the things people say online, but I don't know how much of it is true and how much of it is, like TikTok diagnosis. So, have I ever been possessed? No, I've never been possessed. I've never seen it either. I think a lot of possession is overblown by Hollywood, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist or I don't believe in it. Yes, I believe in hell. I definitely believe in hell. That is a core part of Catholicism as well. But okay, so I'll tell you a couple of stories from when we were ghost hunting that I can't explain, that I am still trying to find an explanation for. And if you can come up with a reasonable explanation, I will hear you out on it. So the two that stick out the most to me was Kenneth. So I used to mess with dowsing rods, spirit rods, that sort of thing. I definitely can't recommend it. Please don't mess with these things. But I did because I was young and dumb, and I was a Satanist and a whole bunch of things. So, Kenneth. We went out to a graveyard and found a grave of a little boy who passed away named Kenneth. And he said he was going to follow us. Were we just making it up? Maybe. I thought so at the time. Then we went back to our hotel. And the important thing to note before I tell you this is when we were talking to Kenneth, Kenneth said that he loved food. So when we got back to our hotel turned on Guy Fieri's grocery games. And we tried to change the channel because you can only take so much Guy Fieri, right? And the TV channel would not change. The remote wouldn't change it. We tried changing it physically with like clicking on the TV. We tried everything and it would not change. The channel would not change. The remote would not change. Nothing was changing the channel. It was stuck on Guy Fieri's grocery games. And multiple times when we tried to talk to Kenneth, he told us that he loved food and he loved watching this TV show. And the TV would not function. We tried physically clicking the buttons. It wouldn't change. We tried using the remote. It wouldn't change. That TV would not turn off of Guy Fieri's grocery games. That was unexplainable to me. The other one that was unexplainable to me was we were going along to Cannon Beach in Oregon because there is a local legend about the Bandage Man. The local legend goes that this man wore some bandages and was working in a sawmill, an old school sawmill. His bandage got caught and it ran him through the saws and basically chopped his body up terribly. They tried and covered him in bandages to try to make him survive, and he passed away. And they say that this local bandage man now haunts the area. So we said, let's go out there and talk to people about the legend and see if we can find any truth to the legend. While we were out there, I was again using dowsing rods and tarot cards, and we talked to what said was the spirit of a little girl, and she gave us her name, her age, and her approximate time of death. I had no way of knowing any of this information. We did zero research on this person. When we got home, I researched it and I found that there was a little girl who matched that name and that age and that time of death who had passed away because she would drive that highway with her mom every day because she was suffering from cancer. And so she was on that highway every day as they were going to the hospital. I had no way of knowing that information. So a lot of people will tell you like, oh, the dowsing rod's like you're moving, like you're just making it up. It's some form of mental illness. Okay, I'm not going to contest that, but how is it possible if I'm making it up that just so happened to make up the right name, the right age, the right time of death? And now again, like saying, okay, I'm predicting that someone passed away who was on this highway a lot. Like, well, duh. Like, it's a highway. Millions of people travel that. Millions of people go on the highway multiple times. And there are lots of people who go along the highway to get to where they're going, especially things like hospitals or work or things like that. So, like, it's not an out there prediction, but still, how could I get the name and the age and all that correct if I was just making it up off the top of my head? That just seems like way too much of a coincidence. So, ghosts, I don't know. Demons, potentially. I could see that. I could see that explanation. Those are the two that I simply don't have an explanation for. I used to have a deer cam, but someone destroyed it in the middle of the woods. Really tall black figure was the last thing the camera recorded. Do you think that your past will haunt you, the ghosts? I don't think the ghosts will haunt me. My past haunts me, but not because of actual ghosts, but because I was a cringy, dumb, young teenage boy who did stupid things and said stupid things. So that haunts me. You know, I have trouble sleeping at night sometimes when I remember how cringy and awful I used to be. Thank goodness, you know, we grow, but I was a young and dumb, stupid kid for a lot of my life. And that is part of why I talk about it a lot, because I try and make sure that people can avoid making the same mistakes I did and don't do the same stupid young things that I did, you know? You know, like I talk a lot about the incel movement because that was something where I had like that belief, like if I do enough things for these girls, then they will have to like me back. No. That is a stupid way of thinking. But I was young and dumb, and I thought I knew better, and I didn't know better. So don't do that. Let's see what else. We need one more thing. Let's get a flaming barrage for this one. This one. Here we go. Okay. Do you think you'll ever get back into that? Why did you stop believing in God? No, I will never go back to the ghost hunting. I will never get back into Satanism. So why did I start believing in God? This is one of my favorite stories to tell, so buckle in. It's a little bit of a story. So, like I said, I was a young and dumb teenager, young and dumb, young adult in my early 20s. And I worked for Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo was one of the worst places in the world to work. I was in the call center. They got sued many times for a whole bunch of things. This was a crazy bad job that destroyed my mental health, and it breaks you down and destroys you as a person. Never ever work in a call center if you can avoid it. It is truly awful to work in a call center. So I was absolutely miserable, but I had what they called the golden handcuffs. Most call centers will pay you so good that you have no choice but to keep working there, because if you leave and go work anywhere else, you will not make as much money as you are there. And once you start making a certain amount of money, you kind of, your lifestyle creeps up on you and you start living in that manner. And that's what happened to me. I had to provide for my family. I was making good money. So leaving really wasn't an option. But the job was killing me. Like, not in a dramatic way, but in an actual, like, it was killing me. It was destroying my mental health. And I came from a family that didn't much believe in mental health stuff. So it was a whole like, oh, this anxiety, this depression, all that's not real. I'm just broken. I'm just not trying hard enough. I'm not doing good enough. So to manage all this depression and all the problems that I was going through, I was basically just abusing my body. I was drinking way too much. I was eating way too much. I ballooned up to like 450 pounds. Like, I was grossly overweight, massively unhealthy, chugging energy drinks. I was just doing anything I could to try and find a little bit of happiness because I was absolutely miserable at my job and I couldn't stand it. And after a couple years of that, because I was at Wells Fargo for years and years, so I went through this for years. One day I was driving and there was this truck that was in the other lane coming towards me, and I had a thought that I should not have had. It's a bad thought. You don't want to have these thoughts of, if that truck just veered over and hit me, I would be so happy, because like, I didn't want to do anything that would harm Emmy, right? I didn't want to stop existing on purpose, and that would make her sad, and I couldn't do that to her. But if a truck did it to me, well, that's not my fault, right? I don't have control over that. If a truck just lost control and hit me, then I have no control over that. That's not my fault. And then I realized, you know what? I shouldn't be having that thought. Like, something is wrong in my life if that is the thought that I'm having. So I decided to take some advice from my father, who told me that in order for a man to be happy, he has to work out his mind, he has to work out his body, and he has to work out his spirit. And I was doing none of that. So I said, okay, Dad, you probably know what you're talking about. Let me listen to my dad and see if doing these things will make me happy. So I started working out, started losing weight, started reading more, started doing more. Hello, Dr. ASMR, how's it going? And I said, okay, well, then if I'm going to do this right, then I need to work out my spirit. I need to figure out God. So I decided the right way to find a religion is to try all of them, right? I had been a Christian before, but I was the worst kind of Christian. I used Christianity as a way to meet girls, to try and make myself a better person by like, oh, I'm Christian, I'm a good person. Like, I wasn't a real Christian. I was a Christian for all the wrong reasons. So I was like, okay, I've tried Christianity. It didn't work out for me. So let's try every other religion and see what sticks. I'll find the truth, and that'll be the truth. So I tried Buddhism, I tried paganism, tried neo-paganism, I tried learning all these different things, and then finally I got onto Satanism. It was very cringe. And I got pretty deep into Satanism and demonology, and that goes hand in hand with the ghost hunting. I was like, okay, this is really cool, but it was easy. And what I mean by easy is that Satanism, especially atheistic Satanism, is very selfish. It's very much about yourself. And I said, oh, this can't be the truth. The truth can't be about me because I'm stupid and I'm unhappy. So all I've done is do things for me, and that hasn't helped. So how is this going to help? So I was questioning it. And then one night I had a medical emergency. I'm not going to go into details, but basically I was like, okay, this is it. All the years of abusing my body are finally going to catch up to me, and I am going to die. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't ready to die. So I was just, I couldn't sleep. I was overly anxious because I'm sitting here having this medical emergency. I should have gone to the doctor. I didn't. But I was like, okay, this is it. I am going to die. I'm just going to lay here, and that's going to be the end. And I don't want to die. And then I had this feeling wash over me, this natural instinct, I guess you'd call it. This overwhelming. I was like, I've tried everything. Nothing is working. But I had like this primal feeling of like, well, why don't you try praying? I was a Satanist at the time, so like praying to God wasn't anything high on my priority list, but it was just that, okay, nothing else is working. I had this overwhelming feeling, so I tried it. It wasn't a Buddha, it wasn't Satan, it wasn't Odin, it wasn't any pagan god, it was just pray to the God. So I did. So I begged God and said, help me through this medical crisis, and I will know that you are real, and I will make the changes that I need to make. And I heard this voice that was not my own voice, that just simply said my name, and all of my anxiety was gone, and I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning, and that medical anxiety was gone. I felt completely normal, completely fine. And so I was like, okay, well, I felt this overwhelming urge to pray, and I made this commitment, and well, now I need to do it because obviously something wonderful happened to me. So I thought, I already tried non-denominational Christianity. I already tried like the lukewarm Christianity. That's when I picked up Catholic Bible and started learning about Catholicism. And that was just like, yep, this is the truth. This is what I talked to. This is what I was looking for. This is the truth. So I picked up the Catholic Bible, started learning Catholicism. I lost 150 pounds. I still got a little bit more weight to lose. I've spent more time reading and learning and growing, and that is what led me to Catholicism. And that foundation is why I will never go back to Satanism. I'll never go back to ghost hunting. I was on the search for truth, and I found the truth. And the truth was Catholicism. And that is how I came to be. That is my testimony. Good morning, Bubble. Sorry, you caught me right in the middle of ranting ravens. So that to me is indisputable proof. I will never have doubt on that because that is what happened to me. I lived it, and there's simply no other explanation to me other than God intervened for me that evening and got me through one of the worst moments of my life. So when people tell me that they're Satanists, I know there's a lot of Christians like, oh, I'm going to rebuke you, or you're evil, or stay away from me. Everyone has their own path to God, and I truly believe that. And for me, my path to God was through Satanism. It helped me to reach Christianity in a few different ways. So when someone tells me they're a Satanist, that to me, that's not like, oh, you're possessed, or you're evil, or stay away from me. No, that's just, they're on the same path I was. I can help to guide them through this path because I too was there. I understand that because I lived that. So Pope Francis, God rest his soul, talked at length about how there is beauty in all religions, and there are a lot of Catholics who absolutely hate him for that and say, no, every religion is bad except for Catholicism. No, every religion may not have the absolute truth of Jesus Christ. They may not have the fullness of truth like the Catholic Bible does, but that doesn't mean that they're fully wrong. That doesn't mean that there isn't some of God present in their stories, in their teaching, in the love that they preach. So every religion can lead back to God. I truly do believe that, and I've truly seen that, as I said, because I tried them all before becoming Catholic. I feel like there are other people who will go through the same thing, that yes, they may be Buddhists now, but that doesn't mean they don't have this understanding of God and his love. They just might not have the fullness of truth, but they may get there. How do they get there? Well, from us teaching, from us showing, and more importantly than just preaching at people and saying, oh, I'll pray for you, or, I'll say a rosary for you, is living the life and showing this this is what happiness can be. This is what your fulfilling life can be with God present in it. So I know there's a lot of people who want to denounce Satanists, who don't want anything to do with Satanists. I am the opposite. Bring on the Satanists. Let's have that conversation. I was there. I lived it. I know deep down a lot of what you're feeling. Like paganism, a lot of paganism and witchcraft isn't necessarily what people represent it as. It's a bid for control. A lot of witchcraft is just trying to take control back in a life where you feel like you're out of control. That's not necessarily all satanic and evil. Now, granted, there are some people who are lost pretty deep in the woo-woo-ness of witchcraft, but for a lot of people, they're just trying to find some control and meaning in their life, and that is how they give themselves control and meaning. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not understanding that sometimes you just got to surrender it, right? You just got to offer it up to God. We don't have control, but we do have meaning. And by giving our control up to God, we will have a better life. But getting there is a very hard process. And again, it doesn't work to just go up to someone who's like, hey, I'm doing witchcraft because I want control in my life. It doesn't work to go up to someone and say, hey, well, just give up all control in your life and you'll be happier. That argument doesn't work. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think it's really bunk when people tell people, oh, well, if you become a Christian, you'll be happier. Your life will be easier. No, that's absolutely not the truth. Half of what we preach in Christianity is that you must pick up your cross and bear it. You will suffer for God. Like telling people it gets easier and better when you're a Christian. No, you still will suffer. There still will be hard moments. There will just be a meaning to that suffering. So I think it's very misrepresentative when people say, oh, well, life just gets better when you're a Christian. No, it's still hard. There's still definitely hard moments, and you will suffer for the faith. There is no doubt on that. But it does become worth it. But again, that doesn't sell it very well either, right? Like going up to someone saying, "Hey, I know you're miserable right now, but if you follow Jesus, you're going to suffer even more." Like that's why these little snippets and TikToks like don't work, right? Like it doesn't work to sell someone on Christianity in a 30-second video. It's a lifelong conversion. Something my OCIA director said that I absolutely love is that it's a lifelong conversion towards Christ. Some days you need a little bit of reorientation. Some days you need a lot of reorientation, but it is a lifelong process. And trying to sell it as, oh, all you have to do is say, Jesus, I give my life over to you, and then you're done is so insulting and oversimplifying and misrepresentative of the faith. All right, let's give him another barrage. Let's give him something to suffer about. Here comes the fire. Boom. Gwen, welcome in, Gwen. So there's my rant. You activated my trap card. There is my rant for how I found Catholicism and Christianity, why I was a ghost hunter, and why I believe it to be the truth. Why I lost 150 pounds. Again, still have some more to go, but I am very proud of that weight loss. Even Emmy was telling me the other day, she was looking at some of the pictures from back in the day, and she said, like, you're completely unrecognizable now between how much happier you are, how much better you look, how much healthier you look, how much weight you lost. Like, you are unrecognizable from your old photos. And that is such a good feeling. Again, there's still a little bit more to go. I still have a lot more weight to lose, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting a little bit harder to lose weight, though. Like, when you're 450 pounds, you just stop drinking so much soda, boom, you're going to lose weight. You just eat one less pizza, boom, you're going to lose weight. Like, it's so much easier when you have a ton of weight because you're just cutting down all those excess calories. But once you start getting close to your goal, it's like, okay, now I'm scrimping, and saving on just a couple hundred calories to lose, 1 pound a month to get down to my goal, because the difference between my sustainable weight and my overweight is just a few thousand calories here and there a month, rather than, okay, well, I dropped 20,000 calories by just cutting out drinking a 2 liter of soda a day, right? Like, it gets much harder. It's still worth it, but it does get much harder to lose weight as you get closer to your goal. Now you have to really work for it. Yeah, exactly. I don't have any more easy, like, I cut out sugar. Well, now it's saving the calories rather than, okay, now I'm not eating a whole 2 bags of candy and drinking it down with a Coke. Like I've cut the calories. Now it's the actual work of finding a balanced diet and doing it all day, every single day. And that's the hard part, the consistency. I have to do this every day for how long? For the rest of my life? Well, that sucks. Right? And then there's no doubt it sucks. Like, wouldn't we all rather just eat whatever we wanted, drink whatever we wanted, and enjoy our life? Sure, but unfortunately, it's a daily thing. I hate to say, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, but it truly is, right? It's adapting your life to changes that are sustainable for weight. Sustainability all day, every day, for 80 years. 80-ish years, right? I think once you're like 90 years old, I don't think it matters much anymore, right? You go and eat whatever you want. You've made it. You've reached the finish line. Go enjoy that chocolate cake. Go enjoy those milkshakes. Do what you want. You're 90.
Pelican 1 preparing to depart. Shuttle launch in 20 seconds. Marking extraction.
All right, mission complete. We did it. And we've got a little bit of time left still. Wow, look at that. We're kicking butt this morning. Kicking butt and taking names. Allergies are really bad this morning, too. One last reminder for everyone. Don't forget that we are streaming tonight. We have a special late night stream with P. Tony, where we're going to be streaming Helldivers. He just got the game, so it's going to be his first couple of games. And we will have Father Stephen with us, Trekkie for Christ. We'll be playing with a Catholic priest, so that will be a treat. So don't forget, tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time is when we will be playing. So keep an eye out for that. My grandma quit smoking around 60 and started up again around 75. She said she earned it. I mean, I get it, right? That's one of those things. So I'm going to talk about smoking now, kids. Don't smoke. Let me preface this. Don't ever smoke. But when I was deep in that unhappiness I was just talking about, I smoked because it made me feel good and it helped to keep the depression at bay. But I was what you would call an advanced smoker. Like, there are many smoke breaks I took where I would smoke two cigarettes at once. Like, you just wrap them together so you have 2 cigarettes at once. Like, this was an advanced level of smoking. Awful thing. And that is one of those things. It has been 10 years? Give or take, probably around 10 years since I stopped smoking, and I can still, some mornings I can still wake up and taste a cigarette, and that addiction is deep. Like, my body still craves it occasionally, and it's been 10 years, like ridiculous amount of time. My body's still like, hey, you remember cigarettes? So never start, because once you start, it is again a lifelong horrible habit that you are going to have to fight against. And I still occasionally crave it and want it, and I cannot. So I just tell my body no. But Asaf, welcome in. Good morning. 10 years and I can still taste and want a cigarette. So do not start smoking. It is horrible, terrible for your health, and it will never go away. I have 10 pounds to lose, and no matter what I do, I can't lose it. I can go off the deep end and not gain anything, so there's that. It's been about 2 years for me. My body doesn't crave them, but my mind does. Yeah, it never goes away. Sorry, Dex. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it never goes away. It's that monkey on your back for the rest of your life of like, but what if cigarettes? But what if nicotine? And okay, I'm gonna on the topic of nicotine, we're going to talk about addiction a little bit more. I think society needs to take a deep look at itself with its addiction to caffeine. Yesterday, I was walking through the grocery store and I saw caffeinated chocolate milk. And when I was at the wildlife safari, in the vending machine, there was caffeinated chocolate milk. If we're at a point as a society where we need to have caffeine in our coffee, in our milk, in our water, in our energy drinks, in our protein powder, in our pre-workout, there's caffeine in literally everything. I think we need to take a look at that addiction in our bodies and say, okay, we as a society have a problem here. We should not need caffeine in our chocolate milk. Like that is a deep addiction that we need to look at as a society and say, okay, we've got a problem here if we need to drink caffeine in our chocolate milk. That addiction is out of control. And I tell that to people, like, I drink coffee. I enjoy the taste of coffee. I have no problem with coffee. However, if you're one of the people who says that, oh, I can't be a nice person in the morning until I've had my coffee. I can't talk to people until I have my coffee. I can't function until I've had my coffee. My brother, that is full-blown addiction. That's not something to be proud of. That's not quirky. That's not, haha, look at how quirky and unique I am. That is a full-blown addiction and problem. Like, if you cannot function without caffeine, that is a drug addiction, and you need to seek help for that. I know it's accepted from our society, but it should not be accepted. That is a full-blown problem. Okay, that did not work. That did not work as well as I had hoped. I just can't believe how much addiction we truly have. And now the whole reason I got into that rant was because, oh well, so much for needing that hell bomb, I guess. Zine. There's these new like zine things that people are talking about that are just nicotine pouches, so there's no tobacco in it. And they're like, oh well, there's no risk of cancer or anything. You know, it's just a pouch of nicotine. And there are people on TikTok proudly displaying like, oh well, I've taken 600 Zyn pouches so that I could get a Traeger grill. Like that is not worth it. The amount of money you've spent on nicotine, you could have just purchased a Traeger grill for the same price. Like, you're falling prey to the same people who, you know, smoked to get a members only jacket back in the day, right? Like that you're not winning by getting a grill out of it. You're not taking advantage of the company. You are being taken advantage of. Nicotine is the most worrisome part. Yeah, and we're full blown back into nicotine addiction between the Zine pouches, between the vaping, between the flavored nicotine sticks that kids are using. Like, we as a society are in a deeper crisis of nicotine addiction than we ever have been in the past. Yes, not everyone's smoking, but people are still getting way too much nicotine into their bodies. I still vape, but zero nicotine. I did the zero nicotine vaping for a while too. It did help, but I don't trust, especially like if you're buying the non-reusable vapes that are being made in foreign countries. I don't trust that those are fully made correctly. You know, when I vaped, I had a local guy who bought all the chemicals himself and mixed it himself, so I knew exactly what I was putting into my body. I don't necessarily trust that the ones they're being manufactured for pennies on the dollar in foreign countries are necessarily built the best or the healthiest, or, you know, don't have potential problems with them, you know. So I did vape, but I have since quit that as well. It was fun though. The flavors were good. But I would never recommend anyone does this. I would never recommend anyone get into it. You are much better off. Honestly, I know that people get made fun of it for it, but like, you are much better off living the teetotaler life. You know, not drinking, not doing alcohol, not doing tobacco, not doing nicotine. Like it is a much better lifestyle for you to do that. I know it's hard. I know it's boring. I know people are going to make fun of you, but it truly is more beneficial to your body to just be a teetotaler. And that is what I am totally working towards. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't have any tobacco. I don't have any nicotine. I do have caffeine, but that is due to my anxiety. The caffeine has basically become 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and that's it. And even then, I'll drink decaf. Like, I just like the taste of coffee. And that's why I'm not trying to be like holier than that. Like, oh, you're also addicted to nicotine or caffeine. Like, yeah, I like a cup of coffee too. The difference is if I don't get my cup of coffee in the morning, I can still be a pleasant person. I can still function. I can still do the things I need to do. However, I do like the taste of coffee. I finally found a word I cannot say for the life of me. Solemnity. That is that word. Solemnity. Let's see. What are we doing here? That being said, that is the hill I will die on. And I know, again, unpopular opinion. Oh no, Waffles is giving an unpopular opinion. Who would have guessed it? I stand by that if your coffee isn't at least 90% coffee, then it is no longer coffee. If you like drinking a latte, you don't like the taste of coffee. You like the taste of milk or chocolate milk if you prefer a mocha over a latte. You like chocolate milk with a little bit of zing to it. That is not a coffee. And I know that's a massively unpopular opinion. And I know that people will fight me to the death on it. I stand by it. If you can't just drink a straight cup of Folgers coffee, low quality, nasty coffee, then you don't like the taste of coffee. You like the taste of sugar, or like you like the effect of caffeine on your body. Until you're chugging Folgers coffee, don't tell me that you like the taste of coffee, because it's got to be a proper cup of coffee, right? It's got to be Folgers coffee made in a coffee machine in a shop that has not been cleaned since 1961. And if you touch the coffee pot, it will burn you or electrocute you because it's a piece of garbage that was made 70 years ago and has never once been cleaned or properly taken care of. Okay, if you will drink that coffee, then you truly love the taste of coffee. And yes, that is a lived experience. My dad had this coffee pot that was originally my grandpa's coffee pot that was out in the shop that was stained brown. Like, it had never once been cleaned because all that was ever ran through it was coffee. Never once was it cleaned. I'm pretty sure it had the same coffee filter in it since 1945. Like, absolutely the worst coffee pot you'd ever seen. But the coffee that came out of that was real coffee. So flavoring water is okay, but flavoring coffee is bougie, foolishness, downright nonsense. There's a difference. When you're flavoring water, that's just a little bit of like asparame or whatever you call that sweetener. Like, that's just a little bit of sweetener. That's less than 1% of the drink because those sweeteners don't require a whole lot in them. When you're flavoring a coffee, you're putting in 90% milk, 5% chocolate flavoring, and then 1% coffee. That's the difference. It's the percentages. If your coffee is still 99% coffee, then it's a coffee. But if your coffee is 90% milk, it is no longer coffee. It is a milk drink. It is a milkshake. That's the difference. That dude hit me out of the air. If you're not willing to get tetanus from your morning routine, you don't like coffee. Exactly. That is the point that I'm making, Dex. Thank you. Get Death Wish coffee. It's crazy. I cannot drink Death Wish coffee. The fact that I need anxiety medication to have a cup of coffee in the morning tells me I could not handle Death Wish coffee. So a latte is a milkshake. Yes, exactly. A latte is a milkshake. 100%. Especially the way, like, have you ever watched those Dunkin' Donut TikToks where someone's like, can I get my latte with heavy whipping cream, 16 pumps of vanilla, 14 cups of sugar, 13 pumps of chocolate, and 1 espresso. That's a milkshake. That is not a coffee beverage. Just because you put 1 shot of espresso in your milkshake does not make it a coffee drink. That's like saying if I put 1 piece of lettuce, if I put 1 piece of lettuce in my pan of macaroni and cheese, it is now a salad. No, that is not how salads work. A salad needs to be a majority of lettuce or spinach in order to be a salad. Just because you put 1 shot of espresso in it doesn't make it a coffee-based beverage. The coffee needs to be the majority of the drink, or it's not a coffee drink. I recently started drinking matcha, not hating it. I have not tried matcha yet. I know that it's all the craze right now, but I have not tried matcha as of yet. I've heard that it tastes terrible, though. Which, I mean, that could be, you know, I like making my weird drinks like my Cholula Mountain Dew. Maybe we should try doing that with matcha, right? Maybe we should make a spicy matcha. Has anyone tried a Tabasco matcha? I mean, matcha by itself tastes horrible, I hear, so could adding hot sauce to it make it any worse? I don't think so. Maybe that's what we should try. Maybe I'll go get some matcha and we'll make some spicy matcha. How's that sound? Cash me outside. How about that? Y'all want to see some Tabasco matcha or a fluffy matcha, whipped cream and matcha? I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try matcha anyways. We might as well spice it up. Oh well, thank you, Akuma. I tried it in the past and it tastes like seaweed, but not good seaweed. But now I make it with honey and it's yummy. See, that's a turn off for me. I hate seaweed. That's the only reason I don't eat a lot of sushi is because most sushi is wrapped in seaweed, and I cannot stand the taste of seaweed. Cannot stand it. If they offer a soy wrap, if they wrap it in soy, I like soy wraps. I'll eat sushi if it's a soy wrap, but seaweed is the grossest thing on earth. Dex is gonna rage quit. I'm sorry, Dex. I'm sorry that you don't like my factual opinions on coffee. But I stand by them. I will defend them. See, that's the other thing. There's a lot of people who have terrible opinions, and they won't even stand by them. They won't defend them. They're just like, well, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Like, no, I will stand by my opinions, and I can defend it factually. If I have a bad opinion, I'm gonna stand by it. I'm not just gonna say, oh, it's my opinion, so it is what it is. No, I will give facts to back up my opinions. That's the difference between me and a rage baiter. My local place will do a soy paper roll on any but a $1 upcharge. Yeah, and I'll do that. If they do a $1 upcharge, I will pay the $1 upcharge. Because you know what seaweed tastes like? Seaweed tastes like fish poop. Because that's exactly what it is, right? The ocean is just a toilet for all the fish. So seaweed just absorbs all that fish poop. And that's why seaweed tastes the way that it does, because it's just fish poop. That's all seaweed is. Just like my opinion that tea is better than coffee, I love a good tea. In fact, while we were on vacation, we went to 2 different tea houses. I tried a tea they called Gunpowder. I didn't like that one very much. But they did have a maple citrus tea that tasted like drinking maple syrup, and it had like an orange undertone to it, and that was absolutely delicious. Loved that. That was my favorite tea by far that I tried that day. If I ever see you put Tabasco in matcha, I will hack your YouTube and delete it. All right, folks, we have our next interesting combination selected. When I go out next, I will buy a cup of matcha, and we are going to try a Tabasco matcha for our gut biome. It is for health, it is medical reasons. That is why we are doing this. It is for medical research. To probiotics or whatever. Our drink has been chosen. I'll actually have to get some Tabasco too. I don't have any Tabasco. Tabasco is low on my tier of hot sauces. Cholula by far is the best hot sauce. I don't usually get a lot of Tabasco, but I do like Tabasco. I like the vinegariness of it, but Cholula is superior in every way, in my opinion.
Calling down a support weapon. Backpack inbound.
Thoughts on people putting ketchup on steak? I am not a fan of ketchup because ketchup is basically just a sugar smoothie. I don't think people drink or eat ketchup because they like the taste of ketchup. They like the taste of sugar. There's no difference between putting ketchup on a steak and taking like a sugar cube and melting it over your steak. It's essentially the same thing. Is it good? Yes, because it's just pure sugar and sugar tastes good. But am I going to condemn someone for it? No, but you might as well just be glazing your steak in sugar. So there's no difference. Is it wrong? No, I'm not some steak purist who says no, you can't put ketchup on your steak. But the only reason why it's good is because it's sugar. Same thing with barbecue sauce. You don't like the taste of barbecue sauce, you like the taste of sugar. If you like the taste of barbecue sauce, go buy yourself one of those new 0 calorie, 0 sugar barbecue sauces and try that. And if you'll eat that, then sure, you like the taste of barbecue sauce. But outside of that, it's just the taste of sugar. Yes, I am a certified ketchup hater. I'll tell you what's better than ketchup. Mustard. Mustard is 0 to 5 calories, has no sugar in it, and it's got a bold flavor. Put that mustard on your steak. That's delicious. Mustard can go on basically everything. Like if you take mustard and sauerkraut is just an amazing combination. I could eat that straight out of the bowl. Like if you just gave me a giant bowl of mustard and sauerkraut, I could eat that all day, every day. Put a little hot sauce on that, boom, you've got a low-calorie, delicious treat. Mustard goes on everything too, though. Mustard and hot sauce on rice? Yes, please. Mustard and hot sauce on a steak? Yes, please. Even though I don't eat meat anymore, I'm vegetarian. You can put mustard and hot sauce on basically anything. Now, I'm going to be careful with this conversation because when I say that you can put it on everything, that is when people challenge me, and that's how we get things like the fluffy lemonade or how we got Tabasco Mountain Dew, right? So I stand by it. Mustard can go on everything, but I have a feeling I'm going to be drinking mustard by the end of the day, which I could do. There was an episode of Teen Titans back in 2005, the original Teen Titans. One of the jokes that they had in the show, one of the running gags, was that Starfire loved mustard and would just drink mustard straight out of the jug. I could do that. I could drink mustard just out of the jug. Pure, unadulterated, unfettered, pure mustard. Spicy mayo. I don't do mayonnaise either. I try and avoid mayonnaise because mayonnaise is so calorie dense that just like one dollop of mayonnaise, that's like 100 calories. I can't do it. I'm trying to lose weight. That being said, mayonnaise is delicious. I may have been known in my fatter days to just take a spoonful of mayonnaise and just eat the mayo raw. I love me some mayonnaise. Do it then, Dex. Are you really doing this, Dex? Are you really thinking that I won't just drink mustard straight out of the jar? Do you really think that I won't do it? Are you challenging me, bruh? Because I'll do it. All right, Dex. I'll be right back.
Good evening. I'm Coretta Kelly with momentous, joyous news. We've just received word that Illuminate forces have withdrawn from Super-Earth. The defense of Super-Earth has succeeded. The battle is won. The valiant Helldivers, aided by SEAF soldiers, have saved our home. Days of vicious fighting have ended with the decimation of the once great Illuminate host, last seen warping out of Super.
No, don't steal my chair. Hey, hey, no, bite me. Go.
The death toll of high-class citizens is still being counted. This victory
Mustard.
unimaginable assault on freedom, which will never be forgotten.
Not even opened yet. So you know this is not a trick, not a magic trick. This is pure mustard.
Freedom shines brightly once more, thanks to the sacrifice
Fresh from the squeeze bottle.
of greatest heroes.
One of my favorite treats.
I'm Coretta Kelly. May freedom watch over you, and may freedom
Shake it up a little bit.
over the Federation of Super Earth.
Delicious. 0 calories. I could do the whole bottle.
Air quality. Passable.
I love mustard. I would drink it out of a jar. 0 problems with it. There you go. Are you not entertained? You just ruined mustard for me.
Allied destroyer.
Mustard is one of the best things in the world. It's even got like that little bit of aftertaste. So you can sit there and enjoy the taste of mustard for days to come. I just drive so violently. That's why I said I stand by my terrible opinions. So if I'm going to have a terrible opinion, I am going to stand by it and I'm going to defend it. With that said, it's about time to end the stream because I gotta go get ready for work. However, last warning, we are doing a stream tonight, so make sure 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to be streaming with Petoni, and we are going to be playing Helldivers again. We are going to have a priest present, so that is going to be a lot of fun. So join us for that. With that said, let's end, as always, with our prayer. As soon as my computer unlocks, my computer just locked up. Even cavemen call him savage. Oh boy, computer, what are you doing here? Why are you locking up? Okay, that works good enough. Prayer time. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Lord, thank you for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for us. Today, we pray for the victims of war, the victims who have been pushed out of their countries or people who have been pushed away from their homes. Lord, help them. We pray for victims of human trafficking, people who have been taken, people who have been kidnapped, people who are far from home and don't know how to get back to home. Lord, help them. We pray for all the people who are struggling with food insecurity, all the people who don't know where their next meal will come from. Lord, help us to provide for them. We pray for all the recent graduates who are entering the next stage of their life, who maybe don't know what comes next, what they are doing next, what life holds for them. Lord, help them. We pray for all the people who are sick or injured. Lord, help them. And finally, we pray for the souls in purgatory, the souls who've been forgotten, souls who have no one left to pray for them. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dex with the I need some Tums. I might regret it a little bit later. I do know there's a little bit of like acidic touch to the mustard, so it might upset my stomach a little bit. I might need to put some water or something in me to counteract the acid. But it was delicious. Thank you for the mustard challenge. I may drink mustard on every stream going forward. That can be my gimmick. That can be my little thing. You know, I can get views that way by drinking mustard all day, every day. And again, 0 calories. So I'm not a doctor, but that sounds pretty healthy to me. So have a great day, Waffles. Have a day. I will see you all tonight. So excited for tonight's stream. Have a blessed day, everyone. And we will see you again tonight. If not tonight, then Friday morning. Have a blessed day, everyone.